Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase. I was out in the factory over actually way up here, moving all the way around this perimeter because I wanted to extend the solar facilities or laying down over in this direction so that we can help get some visibility on what's going on around here, but I actually may have come in a little bit early, but never mind. And I ran out of resources and I ran out of nukes, so I needed them for here. But look what happened, an alarm. So what we need to do is, we'll drill in a little bit, we'll go to the alert. It's right here, here's our alert, and it's telling us that there are 5 miners here. Interestingly enough, only 12 of the speed modules, and actually none of these are free, which is a slight problem because the idea was supposed to be that you would simply pick up a pattern like so and ensure that it would connect. Maybe if it's around the other way it will. There you go. And go, okay, deploy that. But it would seem that we don't actually have any any spare power poles, which means this is not going to work. I'm not quite sure why they haven't rushed out here to deploy either. They should be getting off their bums, and is it happening? Is it finally happening? No. Guys, I've laid down a blueprint here. I'm not sure. Maybe it will take some time. Anyway, what we will do in the meantime is we will pop back here where we're supposed to be. We will refill the engineering train. Hopefully I have my 30 nukes. I do. Let's go back to here and keep an eye on the situation. Is anything changing? Guys, there's a construction here. It's in your zone. Why aren't you building it? What's the construction manager doing? Point 4. They're doing an awful lot where we have been. So that could be part of it. Yeah. I am not sure what the problem is there. They have construction robots. They have a blueprint laid down to build, and they're not doing it. If you guys can tell me what's going on, I'd love to know. Anyway, have we fully filled this up? Pretty close. Am I on board? Yes, I am. Yes, it's all there. We will head to landfill north and hopefully beat the landfill train back to it, because landfill train was being refilled as well. Oh no, we haven't beaten it. It got there first. Never mind. So I might rejoin you just briefly to show you what I've been doing on the perimeter wall here. But the episode's not going to be about building this along and landfill and blowing up aliens. We actually do have a purpose, and we will get to... Oh, it has gone. There you go. So it has deployed these now. There's only one in there, which means these things have been deployed. Now, if only I had a few of the medium poles, we would be set. That one looks like it is spare, so I'll tell you what, let's see if we can take that one and have it deploy. Because obviously that part of my strategy here needs to be sorted as well. It'll probably take it a while. We'll check back on that in a bit. Come on, guys. Anyway, they'll get there eventually. I think there's just a lot of construction bots, so they're not really sure what to do. Not down there, but you know, up here as we pass by the solar fields. This does take a very long time. Incidentally, there are now 468,000 deployed. That is round about 28 gigawatts, although 14 gigawatts usable, given that you've got to account for day and night, which is pretty good. I have just recently laid down a bit of extra along here, up to about this point, just to keep them going. Along here, I stopped just before the crude, so we can skip that and keep going. And the idea of the landfill train is to fill in all of these lakes along the way. Let's have one last look down here at iron 11. Have you deployed? You have. And there it is going, and we're back up to capacity. That's just fantastic. That's how it's supposed to work, guys. Lets us know we're able to react and deal with it. Now, let's deal with this situation, which requires a small move of this train out of the way. Which legs do I have in at the moment? I have the wrong set. Okay. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do at all. Ah, dear, it's annoying. Is it on the tracks as well? I can't tell. It might be, and we need to go a little bit further back as well. There we go. Okay. So what I actually wanted to do was flick those over to fast legs. Jump back on board. Go to manual mode. Fly off down here, and it's a lot further than you might think, so it will take a moment or two. And then we will nuke our little buggy friends. There's quite a few of them here actually. So, yeah, let's change over to nukes. Give them a nice little friendly morning wake up call. I actually killed these using conventional weapons rather than nukes. Good grief, they're all over the place here. Did that get them all? I know there's a few stragglers chasing me, that's okay. With a bit of luck I can catch them in the blast as I go past these ones. Let them catch up a bit, see if we can do that. No, they're giving up. Alright, that's good too. Don't need them to interest. And there's some left, so what we do with them is we put our personal laser defense in. We make sure we've changed over to shotgun, and we just give them a good morning, and yeah, that's sort of what happens. So yeah, biters can be a bit annoying, but I'd find it a bit boring playing Factorio without them, I think, quite frankly. So they tend to get put back in, even if denuded. Right, you don't really need to see this. So what I'm going to do is, well, we'll start carrying on, but I will rejoin you when we're back in the main base, ready to resume building something. See you soon. So to continue, what are we looking at? Electric network. Oh, the electric network is now up to 510,000 panels. So yes, obviously I've been laying down a bit more while between times. But anyway, we are back in the Make Everything factory. I have just finished sending trains over to Big Bro Steel. Production, as a consequence, it's dropped off a bit now, as you can see. Blue was iron, steel is green. That's fairly constant, it would seem, at about 25,000 a minute, which is enough at the moment. It should be able to do more than that, I think. Just. So it's running fairly close to capacity, I guess. Get some idea of this from the number of machines that are active at once. We may have to do some tuning of the access in and out of some of these stacks to ensure that the throughput is there, but otherwise it all seems okay. So yes, what we want to do now is find consumers for all this steel, and basically we want to look at science and pushing on in that direction. So let's have a look at science. Basically, science is composed of intermediary products and the finished product, like, for example, batteries, processing units, speed modules. We're already making all of those separately, so high-tech science, we don't need to make any intermediate products. Actually, some of them aren't really intermediate products anymore. If we go to the next one, and I certainly wouldn't consider making copper cable anywhere, but basically direct feed with high-tech science. We'll get to that in due course. Production science packs, on the other hand, the electric engine unit and the electric furnace. In particular, the electric engine unit, which feeds into engine units, because we need them to make the electric engine unit. We basically will need, these are only multiples of 1, so engines are, well, A, they're a consumer of steel, of course, but we will need basically 6,000 for blue, plus another 3,000 to support the electric engine unit, except of course we get productivity in the science, so we don't need it for the science part. The other thing is we actually get productivity in the electric engine. And where was my normal engines? They shouldn't be too far away from that one, with a bit of luck. I certainly have them somewhere in this collection. I've probably gone over it about 5 times already. Maybe not. There it is. It can also use productivity modules. So The exact number is actually reduced quite significantly by that. Let's actually come down to our sort of testing, theorizing arena, if you will, because we want to kind of stick with this pattern. We don't need the furnaces just at the moment. Let's pick them up. And I've left all my stuff over by Big Bro Steel, but that's okay. So if you are those, and you are those, and you have your full complement of those, I mean, your stats will be the same, and obviously lube is something that we require for those. But let's just have a look here. We're getting crafting speed of 8, which is the same as all the assembly machines, I guess. And the productivity of 40%. So, if we required 9,000 of these, actually that's not a fair calculation. This is why I kind of get lost with some of the maths sometimes. Which I guess is one of the advantages of building a modular system. You can just keep on adding extra modules if you find that your calculations are out, or maybe even take some away if you put too much on. But these sorts of things, we're only going to need one module, so it's a little bit hard to do that. Let's start with 6,000. So 6,000 for the blue science. We can divide it by 1.4 because of the assembly machines for the blue science, and then we can divide it by another 1.4 because our assembly machines for the engines will have productivity as well, as we can see from here. And then we need to work out, okay, it's 10 seconds. So we can divide that number by 6 to get the number of unsped up machines one would need, which would be 510. We can divide by 8 for the machine speed, and that gives us a mere 63 assembly, well 63.7, so call it 64 required for blue science. And that's not too bad, 64 for blue science. Now, I wouldn't mind actually having some prod modules on me. No, yeah, 10 will do. Just give me some, guys. Come on. Hurry up. Chop, chop. Chop, chop. I know you have some. I know I'm in your network. Chop, chop. There we go. Okay, so these ones, the electric units, they feed purple science. So we kind of have a three-way thing going on here. Bit of three-way action. This is the only Factorio channel where you get three-way action. No, not. Just kidding. So yeah, 3,000. You only need 3,000, obviously, because the purple science recipe is a 2x production pack. So 3,000 iterations of this, which would be 3,000 electric engine units. Now, obviously, you have the. I'm just going to write down on a bit of paper the fact that we need 64 engine units for blue. Right. So, how many engine units do we need for purple? Well, we need 3,000 divided by the 1.4 for the conversion to purple science. So only 2,143 basically. And then divided by 1.4 to give 1,531 electric engine units required. But when you convert that into the basic engine units, you get that 1.4 again. So we can divide by a further 1.4 to get only 1,093 extra machines required. So it won't be 50% more than for blue, it will actually be somewhat less. Being 1,093. So we can then do our divisions on 1,093. We can divide it by 6 for the number of cycles in a minute. We can divide it by 8 for the speed of our sped up machines, and that means you need another 23 rather than 32, giving 87 engine units, and the 1531 for the electric engine units. Let's divide that by, they are also 10 seconds conveniently, so we can divide 1531 by 6 for the number of cycles in a minute. We can divide it by a further 8 for the speed of the machine. And we end up with 32, which is the number expected for them. So, the next step, what other products do you need in engines? We need electronic circuits and lubricant. They can just get shipped in, that's fine. What else do we need for engine, the basic engine units? We need pipes and we need iron gear wheels. So, iron gear wheels are always an interesting thing. I generally consider, it comes back to sort of the argument, do you put iron gear wheels on a bus? And I've sort of gravitated to and from that, and at the moment I lean more to no, because they're very simple to make just locally. If you look at the formula for iron gear wheels, one machine is supplying 2 every second. Okay, so in comparison to these guys, each one needs 1 every 10 seconds. One machine can provide 2 a second unsped up, unbonused at all. So, and the easiest way to do these calculations, I mean, it's bad enough even when you've got an easy way, but the easiest way to do these calculations is just to ignore all your speed ups until you're counting up the number of machines, but do count your productivity. So we can get 2 iron gear wheels under normal conditions per second, which is 20 in the time we make 1 engine unit. We need only 1, so we can support 20 machines, except we have productivity modules, so that actually makes it 1 can support 28 machines. So why wouldn't you just have 1 with your engine units to support their build? 1 to 28, which is a slightly unfortunate ratio given that given the numbers that we have. We need 64 to support blue science, and we need 23 to support purple science. But that's okay, we'll work something out. Now, steel, obviously, we can deliver from Big Bro Steel, and pipes. Pipes are the other one. We need just the 2 pipes. We need 2 pipes in engines. Well, conveniently we get 2 pipes a second. So 1 pipe machine can support, well, with the boost from productivity modules, and I'm pretty sure gears and pipes can take productivity modules. We'll have them here somewhere. Ooh, pipes actually would appear not to be able to. We better not make that mistake. Oh, I've just used speed modules in my pipe assembly here for some reason. Not sure why, but that's because I haven't put a recipe in here. if you're doing pipes, let's get out of map view. If you're doing pipes, you can't take you cannot take productivity modules. I don't know why, but never mind. I mean, I know it's not in the intermediate product menu, which is this one, but it probably should be. Wouldn't you have thought? But never mind. Pipes is not an intermediate product. I don't know why I picked that up. So I need some speed modules. Actually, I could just grab them from here. Don't need to worry about that design. If you're building pipes for me and you are completely surrounded and you have speed modules in you, just how fast are you? 11.25. Yes, that's insanity speed. You would definitely need multiple feeds to support that. Or maybe you can do almost 30, even if it's 27. One iron plate makes one pipe. You'd be using 22.5. One actually is enough, believe it or not. So we can do that with a single stack inserter as long as we feed this requester heavily enough. So 11.25. Okay, those are the numbers we can work with. So what I'm thinking is we would create a module for purple science and we would create a module for blue science. And by these modules I'm referring to creating the engine components for them. So basically we're creating an engines module, and we'll have a complete dedicated module, meaning, let's just pull out, so like one of these constructs, we'll have one of these constructs that will make engines, and ostensibly those engines are all dedicated to blue science, and we'll have another one next to it which will have engines manufactured and also electric engines, and that will ostensibly be for purple science. So the next thing I want to see is just, I mean, these are obviously not the right sort of machine. In fact, they're totally wrong sorts of machines. So let me jump over to somewhere that is the right sort of machine, which should be these ones. I don't know how long the stack needs to be just yet. That will be the next calculation. But if we did like 2 stacks of these, like so, where does this fit on our map? Does it fit, for example, up here? And I've got no chance of seeing because none of this is covered by radar. Well, why don't we head up there and see. Let's change that to a picture of an engine. It's not engines, but never mind. So where's my best park for there? Maybe oil, northeast oil. I don't know how I'm doing for time. It's probably not good. Take me to oil northeast. We'll use the InfiniZoom tool to see about spacing. If it fits in that slot, that's probably where I'll put it. I would otherwise consider in here, but there's resources in here. We could bring it down further, but I don't know how much room I'm going to need for science yet. I mean, that probably is plenty. And so there would be room here, but I mean, this slot's otherwise going to be unused, and it won't have this entrance way soon enough. It will have the oil one though. But being close, I mean, we want to be close to here, we want to be close to the steel, although it's not the biggest user of steel by any stretch. The biggest user is clearly this one. That's 10 steel per electric furnace, and I don't believe electric furnaces are productivity bonusable. Let's just check. I know I'm making them in here. Electric furnace. They should be in the first stack. There they are, and yes, they would appear not to be, but I guess we can test that. But anyway, they are the biggest user, but they're a lot faster to build, so they probably won't get there. Oh, I need to fix this as well, but never mind. Let's run down to this clearing that we have. Try not to nuke anything. In fact, let's just put the safety on. It's never a good experience to nuke your own infrastructure when you don't intend to. So this is the general area. I want to see if this will fit in here. It does look like it probably will. Let's use our InfiniZoom tool. Watch the UPS plummet, and the FPS in particular. So yeah, that looks like it will comfortably fit in there. So this is definitely our site. Alright, let's do some, without the blueprint there, we're back up to 6060. Let's do some calculations then. If 64 is the number in the blue stack, and we need a cog every 28. That would be 3 cogs. So 64 engine, 3 gear wheels, cogs in the colloquial. And pipes every 10, so that would be 7 pipes, I guess, we would have to have. Oh, hang on, it's 11.25, so no, it would be 6 pipes, wouldn't it? Can't get away with 5, so that's basically 73. 73, okay. We need 73 assemblers. Divide that by 6 rows, and you get 12.16. So I guess we're making length 13 rows. How many are there in there? 156. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is conveniently 13 already, so that works for blue needs 13. Purple needs 23. 32 plus 32 electric, 23 normal, or just the engine units, and 23 needs 1 cogs or gear wheels and 2 point something, so let's call it 3, 2 point something big. 22.5 is what you'd get with 2 in terms of handling the pipes, so we'll need 3 pipe machines, which gives you 32 plus 23 plus 4, 27, and 32 is it's like 59, isn't it? So they could actually be sort of 10, but I'd probably want the 32 to be in a row by itself and the rest of it to be in the bottom part, so the top part or the bottom part, one or the other, to be the electric engines and all the mechanism for the other engines in the bottom, so that's obviously a lot easier. Alright, so all we need now is a suitable if we have 383s coming in, I mean, these stackers probably serious overkill, really. If I had one of these stackers supporting both, that would probably work just fine. There's my oil stacker. So I'm going to bring it down here somewhere close to this landfill that's not going to survive too much longer. So somewhere round about here. We need a 4x2. Let's get our good rail. Find our 4x2. Is that good rail? It doesn't say good rail. I'm not sure it is good rail. No, I'm pretty sure it's not. I'll be back in a sec with good rail. I'll just make a marker here to indicate that's where I want to be, and I'll see you in a sec. Okay, I'm back with the good blueprints, good rail. Let's just find our 4x2. I think we're very short of time, so what I'm going to do is just get some bare bones part of this down, and which might be very little more than just the entrance. I'll try not to get smacked by a train, although I don't think there's a lot of traffic that comes up this way just yet. Right, so let us get a it's just trees, of course. Let's get that down. Now, we needed our oil stacker. Something like that, I think. I have the engineering train. Oh, these. Oh no, they are probably okay. So things come in this way. The resources come in this way. The resource trains feed out this way. Our electric engines and like 4 lanes of standard engines, 2 lanes of electric engines should be fine. How about you just get rid of all of this nonsense? We'll put it on the engineering train, and we will build out the rest of this in the next episode. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and looking forward to seeing you in the next. Bye bye for now.